Yes, ma'am.
Okay, today we'll be discussing about rickets and osteomalacia. For this, both having the problem in the matrix mineralization, and there is the abnormalities in the vitamin D metabolism as well as phosphate deficiency also contribute to this etiology. Okay, and what happens is that in the osteomalacia is the disorder of the adult, whereas in children it is known as rickets. And for the osteomalacia, there is inadequate mineralization of the newly formed bone matrix. In the rickets also there is inadequate mineralization. But in case of the children, what happens is that the growth plate, that is the epiphyseal plate which should be fused, are not fused. Okay, so that all the manifestations are due to the not fusion of the growth plate. And as already mentioned, I have told you in the last classes as well the function of parathyroid hormone as well. What happens is that in the normally the vitamin D is synthesized in the skin from UV light and also from the 7-dehydrocholesterol, okay, as well as from the diet. This vitamin D in presence of 25 hydroxylase is converted into 25 hydroxy cholecalciferol in the liver, which in presence of one hydroxylase, one alpha hydroxylase is converted to one. Sorry.
Ma'am, एकचोटि फेरि स्टार्टिङबाट भन्दिनु न, सरी.
ल ठिकै छ. के हुन्छ भन्दाखेरि the vitamin D is at first synthesized in the skin, okay, from what? From the UV light and also from the diet, हैन. डाइट र स्किनमा चाहिँ सोलर रेडिएसनबाट चाहिँ सिन्थेसाइज हुन्छ vitamin D. This vitamin D now bind with the proteins present in the liver, and in presence of 25 hydroxyase is converted to 25 hydroxy cholecalciferol. Liver at first it is converted into 25 hydroxy cholecalciferol. This 25 hydroxy cholecalciferol is converted into 1,2,5 dihydroxy cholecalciferol in presence of alpha hydroxylase, okay, in the kidney. And this 1,2,5 dihydroxy cholecalciferol is the active form of vitamin D. Okay, this calcitriol or the 125 hydroxy cholecalciferol increases the calcium and phosphate absorption in the intestine as well. Okay, but if there is low level of serum calcium, what happens is that the parathyroid hormone from the parathyroid gland becomes activated in response to the low serum calcium. This parathyroid hormone, what does it do? It causes the calcium reabsorption from the bone. Okay, calcium पनि reabsorb हुन्छ र small amount of phosphate is also reabsorbed from the bone, and then it ultimately increases the serum calcium level and causes bone mineralization, metabolic function, neuromuscular function. Okay, is it clear? Main भनेको चाहिँ vitamin D कसरी synthesize हुन्छ, main भनेको यो point is important. In the liver and kidney मा चाहिँ the active form, that is 1,2,5 dihydroxy cholecalciferol is synthesized. बुझ्यो?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am. Okay. This thing I have already explained. This metabolism I have already explained in the figure. That is the 1,2,5 dihydroxy cholecalciferol is the biologically most active form. Okay, this is the function. So function of vitamin D, as it is a fat soluble, what are the other functions? It helps in the bone mineralization, formation of epiphyseal cartilage, formation of both the flat and the long bone, stimulates the osteoblast, and also synthesize the calcium binding protein, that is osteocalcin, which helps in bone development. These are all just the function, okay, and also it maintains the level of calcium and phosphorus. So development, as we know, flat bone by the intramembranous bone formation and the long bone by the endochondral ossification, the development occurs. So what happens is that when there is hypocalcemia, decrease in the serum calcium level. How? Due to the vitamin D deficiency, as already mentioned, PTH hormone becomes activated. This parathyroid hormone becomes activated in response to low serum calcium, and this parathyroid hormone also act on the 1-alpha hydroxylase enzymes of the kidney and increases the active form of vitamin D and increases calcium absorption. It increases the calcium absorption from the bone, decreases renal calcium excretion, but increases the renal excretion of the phosphate. Okay, calcium excretion to prevent गर्छ तर phosphate को excretion लाई चाहिँ promote गर्छ. Okay, this is the main function. Is it clear? हाइपोक्याल्सिमिया भएपछि चाहिँ के हुन्छ भन्ने कुरा हो के यो है. Are you getting me?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, and likewise the fibroblast growth factor 23 in the bone and phosphatonin also blocks the phosphate absorption from the intestine. When there is the block in the phosphate reabsorption, what happens? They are excreted in the urine. Okay, hypophosphatemia, when there is persistent hypophosphatemia, there is impaired bone mineralization. Okay, is it clear?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, now etiopathogenesis. These are the etiology. We are having a short pathogenesis as well. Etiology, ma'am, what are the causes of rickets and osteomalacia? There is the inadequate synthesis or dietary deficiency. How? Inadequate intake of the fortified food. Okay, poor maternal nutrition. Similarly, inadequate exposure to the sunlight. And if there is skin is darkly pigmented, then also there is inadequate absorption. Similarly, decreased absorption of fat-soluble vitamin. How? It can occur in liver disease as cholestatic liver disease, pancreatic insufficiency, biliary tract obstruction, celiac sprue, and bowel disease. If there is a problem with the vitamin D metabolism, likewise, as already mentioned in that figure, if there is decrease, there is increased degradation of the vitamin D and 25-hydroxycholecalciferol, impaired synthesis, renal diseases, liver diseases. This all leads to impaired vitamin D metabolism, and also phosphate depletion. Okay, when there is excess in hypophosphatemic rickets or poor absorption of phosphate when we use excess antacids. Okay, these all lead to phosphate depletion. That also contribute to decrease in vitamin D synthesis. So, in short, what may be the etiology? Diet deficient in calcium and vitamin D, limited exposure to sunlight, phosphate depletion, renal disorders, malabsorption syndrome. Okay, is it clear? Is it clear?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, now coming to pathogenesis. As we know, vitamin D helps in calcium and phosphate absorption. Okay, when there is deficiency, there is decreased absorption, decreased release of calcium and phosphate in the blood, and it stimulates the parathyroid hormone secretion. Parathyroid hormone, what does it do? It causes the mobilization of calcium and the phosphate from the bone. Already there is vitamin D deficiency, so there is decreased mineralization of bone, excess unmineralized matrix leading to rickets and osteomalacia. यसमा चाहिँ के हुन्छ भन्दाखेरि unmineralized bone चाहिँ excess हुने हो नि त हैन, rickets and osteomalacia मा. Ultimately there is the excess of the unmineralized matrix, bony matrix. Is this pathogenesis clear?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. Now coming to rickets, what is the normal level of 0.5-hydroxycholecalciferol? That is 20 to 100 nanogram per ml. When it is less than 20, we call it vitamin D deficiency. Likewise, similar in the rickets, there is diet deficient in calcium and vitamin D, limited exposure to sunlight, phosphate depletion, malabsorption syndrome. The etiologies are same, okay, as previous. So there is the excess of unmineralized bone. Okay, so what happened is that the epiphyseal cartilage is overgrowth. Okay, there is the overgrowth of the epiphyseal cartilage, and also that cartilage fails to mature. Okay, and also there is the persistence of the irregular masses of cartilage, and the inadequately mineralized bony matrix, they persist. Similarly, what happens is that there is the expansion of the lateral expansion of the osteochondral junction as well. Okay, because the replacement of the cartilage by the osteoid matrix is disrupted. At first, the cartilage should be replaced by the osteoid. Okay, but that is disrupted. This process, this disruption leads to the expansion of the osteochondral junction, as well as there is that bone is prone to micro fractures and stresses. Okay, because they are poorly formed, poorly mineralized, so they are prone to fractures in response to any stresses, as well as there is the deformation of the skeleton as well. And the sign and symptoms include, in the first year of life, there we don't find any gross visualization. Okay, but it depends upon the severity and duration, for how long and how severe the disease is. In the non-ambulatory stage of infancy, mostly the head and chest receives the stresses, so that the occipital bone becomes flattened. Even the parietal bone, when we press on the parietal bone, there is buckling, and on release of the pressure, the bone recoils back to its normal or original position. That is known as craniotapes. That is the due to the softening of the bone. When we give pressure over the parietal bone, it buckles inward. Means there is a dimpling. Okay, and when on removal of the pressure, it recoils back to its normal position. Similarly, frontal bossing also occurs. Means prominence of the frontal bone, and also there is the overgrowth of the cartilage at the costochondral junction, resulting in rackety rosary. Similarly, there is pigeon breast deformity that happens when the similar to that of the pigeon chest. How it is protruded outward, right? Protrusion outward of the pigeon chest. Similar, that kind of protrusion of the sternum is seen in case of the rickets. And other deformity, Harrison groove. It is the there is the inward pulling at the margin of the diaphragm is seen. And what happens is that the ambulating child, mostly the rickets develop in ambulating child, because we see the bow leg deformity, lumbar lordosis, and there is also the spine, pelvis, and tibia deformity as well. Is it clear? This is the widening of the sutures. Okay, this suture, that should be closed. Okay, that is open. There is delayed closure of the fontanelle, frontal bossing, dental hypoplasia, pectus carinatum, that is pigeon shaped chest, bowing of the legs, rackety rosary, craniotapes. Okay, is it clear?
Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am.
Okay, this kind of bowing of the legs. What happens is that at first there should be the palisades of, these are all the cartilage. Okay, these are the bone palisades. The cartilage should be orderly placed. Okay, normally, and their transformation into the bone should occur. But what happens is that in case of rickets, there is no palisading of the cartilage in an orderly fashion. Okay, and these are the calcified bone, but the uncalcified bone are all the paler looking areas that are not properly seen in this picture. So the orderly palisading of the cartilage and the transformation into the bone does not occur. Okay, Can I start osteomalacia?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. In adult, what happens is that there is the improper or inadequately mineralized bone. However, there is the persistence of osteoid, but the bony contour as that of the rickety rosary, Harrison screw, bowing of the legs, that is not seen in osteomalacia, but there is the predominance of the unmineralized bone that occurs in case of osteomalacia. And what happens is that on X-ray we will find a linear fracture-like areas. Okay, that is known as the loser zone, or there is no any gross fractures that is not seen, but we'll see a linear fracture-like areas. So it is known as pseudofracture, mostly in the femoral neck. And the patient may have muscle weakness as well as aching pain in the muscles. So on histological examination, the unmineralized osteoid appears pink, and the mineralized bony trabecula appears blue. Okay, but there is a predominance of the unmineralized osteoid, which appears pink in case of H&E section. Similarly, what we see, there is a low level of vitamin D and 25 hydroxy vitamin D and 125 dihydroxy vitamin D. Calcium level may be normal or low. Phosphate level is low, and the serum alkaline phosphatase is increased because there is the increase in the osteoblastic activity. Compensatory increase in the osteoblastic activity, but the newly formed bone is unmineralized, leading to increase serum alkaline phosphatase. Okay, so how the toxicity of the vitamin D occurs? Generally, on exposure to sunlight, it does not causes any hypervitaminosis. Okay, but when the person administer more amount of vitamin D, leads to hypervitaminosis for a prolonged period of time. When the orally drug is being taken, it leads to toxicity, and it can appear as metastatic calcification. Pathological calcification, you know as well as that is dystrophic and the metastatic. Such kind of deposition can be seen in the kidney as well. And even for a prolonged period of time, when we consume the vitamin D for a prolonged period of time, it may even lead to bone pain and hypercalcemia. Is it clear?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, in last class we have asked about the cathepsin K inhibitors. Why given in osteoporosis? Because in osteoporosis there is decreased in the bone density. So when the cathepsin K inhibitors are given, it will improve the bone density. Okay, and it will prevent the incidence of bony fractures. So these are given. These are the newly synthesized lysosomal something drugs. Okay, these are given as it increases the bone density. I just found this much from the internet and I told you. Is there any other question?
Ma'am, यो रिकेट्समा छ नि यो हाम्रो जुन यो लोअर लिम्बको बोन्सहरु हुन्छ नि त्यो एउटा साइडमा चाहिँ के भन्छ एउटा साइडमा चाहिँ त्यसको एउटा कर्भ जस्तो हुन्छ नि कि त राइट पट्टि त्यो इन्क्लाइनेसन हुन्छ कि त लेफ्ट पट्टि हुन्छ त्यो राइट र लेफ्ट चाहिँ कुन बेसिसमा त्यो बेन्ट हुने हो
त्यो साइडको बोन कतिको मिनरलाइज छ त्यसमा भर पर्ने होला के
यो फोटोमा ल्याटरली बेन्ट भएको छ भनेपछि मिडियल पोर्सनको रिजनको डिमिनरलाइजेसन भयो
जुन एरियामा अब बोनमा त इनएडिक्वेटली मिनरलाइजेसन छ नि त त्यही भएर त्यो मिनरलाइजेसन पनि इक्वली भएको छैन के जताको धेरै मिनरलाइजेसन जताको कम मिनरलाइजेसन भएको छ त्यतैतिर बडी इन्क्लिनेसन हुन्छ
सो जतातिर कम मिनरलाइजेसन त्यतातिर बेन्ट हुने हैन म्याम ओके थ्यांक यू म्याम
वेलकम अरु छ के Is there any other question? Okay, this much for today, and in the next class we'll be starting muscle dystrophy. Okay.
Okay, ma'am.
Okay, take care. Have a good day. Lunch
Thank you, ma'am.
होला. Lunch
No,
भयो
ma'am.
त?
No,
Okay,
ma'am.
I'll also have my lunch now. Okay, take care and have a good day. Okay.